I recently watched this anime, Magi, the Kingdom of Magic. Its main focus on these sort of alternate reality early Chinese civilizations, their societies, and has a considerable element of, I guess, kind of social political commentary. Now, there are a few distinct civilizations and groups in the show. The Sindrians, which parallel the Phoenicians, the Lean Empire, who are the Romans, the Co-Chinese, Baobab, which is maybe Persian or pre-Islamic Arabians, I guess, and the main topic of this video, which is the wizard state, Magnustat. So the wizards in Magi are a distinct population from the non-magicians, with their status more or less being defined as those capable of deceiving and wielding the Rook, a power which flows through all life. Harnessing Magi and casting spells, they're a small subset of a population and are born about seemingly hereditarily, whereas some are born magicians despite having non-magician parents. They are also distinct from Magi, which are essentially a tiny select handful of super wizards, able to harness not just their own, but the Rook from all around them. They essentially exist to determine the fate of the world and decide who is a worthy king for them to grant their power towards. Now, the wizards are first made mention of when introduced to the young Raya, who is a spellcaster under the Sindrians and one of their king Sinbad's top guys. She tells the main character Aladdin, one of the aforementioned Magi, to go to this wizard country in which she was raised to learn magic. Tell him to go there in order to improve his magic abilities, as any wizard from any place is allowed to enter the nation and become a citizen if they attend and graduate from the country's wizard academy, where she informs them that they treat non-wizards as second-class citizens. We also learn that they have been attacking and annexing smaller countries recently, which has drawn the eye of other larger nations. So Aladdin, following Yam's suggestion, embarks on a journey for Magnustat. After arriving and spending time in Magnustat, Aladdin inevitably finds out some aspects about this wizard society. Now, the country has 5 formal tiers of citizenship. The first and highest tier is occupied by the most competent wizards under the direct control of Supreme Ruler and Wizard Academy's Chancellor, Madame Mogomed. The second tier is occupied by all magic users in the nation. The third tier belongs to those who are born to 2 wizard parents but are not magicians themselves. The fourth contains all other non-magic users like merchants and craftsmen, bar from those in the bottom 5th tier of society, who grant infinite food, wine, basic pleasure, and don't have to work. However, they also live in a separate underground city and can't leave. Now, unlike most of all other civilizations in Magi, Magnustat has no slaves, per se, but instead has the 5th class citizens perpetually drained of their life force to power the wizard city and its defenses, their main one being a giant protective energy dome. You see, Magnustat existed previously as a different country, Mustasem, where the head wizard Mago Mogomed once lived. He initially viewed himself and other wizards as being essentially higher beings who must use their superiority to guide the non-wizards to good. Though over time, wizards were exploited for work or used as scapegoats when ruin befell the kingdom. The blaming of the wizards for a plague caused large-scale persecution, and over time, Mogomed began to view non-wizards as crooked beings, not deserving of being saved, but of being manipulated and controlled, like cattle, a word he refers to them as quite frequently. He eventually led a wizard revolution and overthrew the kingdom of Mustasem, replacing it with a wizard-centered hierarchy of Magnustat that we have already discussed.
Dark wizard stood with a wicked smile.
Approaching the season climax, the wizards end up going to war with the Lean Empire, the Romans, who want to conquer them. The battle goes on for some time, though their dome eventually grows weak from repeated bombardment, so the sorcerers attempt to utilize their ultimate magic cannon to decimate the enemy forces. The weapon is effective, but it requires insane amounts of Magi to operate, bringing their 5th class citizens to the brink of death as they drain their energy. Eventually, at the precipice of defeat and being encroached upon by enemy forces, Mogomed deems there to be no other option but to retaliate using their ultimate uncontrollable weapons to destroy every single other nation in the world. He releases his force, though essentially all the other major established nations team up against him and defeat him. Anyway, I think that's about all the important main aspects of this society. So guys, comment what country or people you think the magicians are supposed to be. Oh wait, oh yeah, actually. One last thing I forgot to mention. They refer to the non-magicians as Goi.